start with John Corrales.
Brad, you talked at the end of last month about changing the shot profile and working towards that. Seems like you guys have been able to get to the rim a lot more. What are you seeing from the offense? Do you like where it's heading?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been a big emphasis for us. Again, part of it is when you have more bodies available, especially your better offensive players, that sure helps. Everybody's trying to take away layups. Everybody's trying to take away threes, and you have to work hard to generate either. And so I think we have gotten a little bit better, but, we got to do it throughout the course of a game. I mean, if you go back and watch the Denver game, I thought the first quarter we just settled and didn't really have any real attack with force. And, we found ourselves in a tough spot to come back. We were fortunate to be able to do that, but, I think that's something that we need to continue to improve on.
Gary Washburn.
Yeah, two questions, Brad. One, I just want you to kind of reflect on the passing of Slick Leonard. I know it's, and secondly, just wanted to ask about Jayson and Jaylen, how they made it through the Denver game.
I didn't hear the second part of the Jayson and Jaylen question, Gary. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
How they made it through the Denver game health-wise.
Yeah, good. They both made it through well. Jayson was a little bit under the weather that day, and Jaylen's just been dealing with some of this lingering soreness, but they both made it through well. And it wasn't a plus 40-minute night for either of them, although I do think the attack and the force with which they played in the second half was really, really, tough. And so with regard to Slick, I've known him for a long time and grew up as a huge Pacers fan, obviously, in Central Indiana. And, he was the best way I can describe him to those people in the Northeast was he was our Tommy Heinsohn, right? And he's a incredible, obviously played at IU, coached, and then was the voice of the Pacers forever. And, when Reggie hit a three and the whole place would go, boom, baby, that's Slick Leonard, right? And those of us that have been fortunate enough to get to know him over the years, I think, really even appreciate him just as much off the court. Will certainly be missed. Another tough loss in our basketball community this year.
Matt Vittor.
Brad, Mark Cuban and Luka Doncic were talking about how they thought that the condensed NBA schedule and that the play-in tournament doesn't make sense this year, and that it's potentially bad for the league, bad for the players involved. I'm curious what your thoughts are, especially because you've had some guys that have been dealing with soreness and dealing with health stuff over the course of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's the way they're going to determine playoffs, and 7 through 10 are going to play in for those last two spots. I don't really have a reaction to it other than that's the way they decided to do it. I understand the entertainment value that comes with the play-in games. That said, we will not prioritize our seed over our players' health. That's for sure. If there's somebody that needs to sit or something that, if Tatum, Jaylen, whoever, and I think we've been pretty consistent with that with Kimba's year as well. So we'll land where we land, Matt, and then, hopefully we're still playing and we get a chance to move on.
Keith Smith.
Hey, Brad, when you go against a guy like Damian Lillard, who's a threat to really shoot it anywhere inside half court, how does that force you guys to kind of bend and change your defense?
Yeah, it's a much different defensive game than the other night. Obviously, with with his ability to pull up off screens. We showed a clip today in the bubble where we went under a screen at 40 feet and he pulled up from about 35. And usually that's the right move. I don't think that it's necessarily the wrong move on occasion. He can't see a constant stream of the exact same defense. He's too good. That said, I mean, you got to do your best to be in his airspace 40 feet and in. And so when that really comes into play is high pickup points, both for your guards and for your bigs. I think Portland did as good of a job as any team in the league, you know, maybe a couple of years ago, and then obviously have continued it, but everybody is doing it now of setting screens super high because you were picking them up so high. And so, you know, you pick them up at 30 feet. Well, then Cantor and Nurkic are there on your hip, setting a screen on you so that Damian can pull up in rhythm, you know, at 25 feet in. And that's really hard to guard. So your bigs can't just run into the paint like they normally would in transition and not, you know, without the ability to get back up to that screen.
All right, we'll wrap it up right there. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.